All right, welcome back to another Number Wizard console game that we're working on. So last time we did player input, so if they did the up arrow, it would give this message. If they did down arrow, it would give this message. And if they hit enter, it would do this message, right? So we have that working, where now it will know if the player does something. So now we want to take that input and generate a new guess based on it. So I want you to think about the logic of the game, right? If we give a guess, say it's 500, and they hit the up arrow, that means that the number they're thinking of is higher than 500. So, using random.range with a minimum and a maximum, I want you to think about how would we create a new guess based on that information that our number is now the lowest number that's possible in what their guess could be. So I know that was kind of tricky. It wasn't really like a test. It's just to get you thinking about it. So what we'd want to do is, now remember, code runs in order from top to bottom. Okay, so we want to, if they say up arrow, so if they say their number is higher than our guess of 500, then we want to say the minimum value that's possible is now the guess, because it is, because the number is more than 500, so the minimum is the guess. Okay, and then we want to create a new guess, so we could just take this right here and we could just copy it right in right there. So now min equals guess, and then we say guess is equal to a new range between a minimum, 500, and a maximum, 1,000. That's just an example, right? And then it will say, is the number higher or lower than that? So in theory, when we go back into Unity, if we hit play, is the number higher or lower than 176? Every time we hit up, that number should go up. 573, 801, 846, 937, 970, 986, 990, 991, 96, right? All the way up to... okay, so we're stuck at 999. So let's look back at our code. That's our first bug. It doesn't have the 1,000 that we wanted to have. We look at our code, and we hover over range. Right? It returns a random integer number between a minimum inclusive and a max exclusive. So when it's trying to pick a number between a range of minimum and maximum, it's not including our 1,000. All right, so we could, if we just said if we change this to 1,000, right, that would fix this issue. But when we say pick a number, it would now say pick a number between 1 and 1,001. Right, so we want to keep that as 1,000. But what we could just do right here is when we say pick a number between, we could just say, or we could, we could keep this, we could change this to 1,001 and then just say pick a number between our max minus 1, so that it includes our max. Let me change that to this. Gotta keep it together. Max minus 1. And then we never close. Okay. So because it's doing some math, I gotta keep it inside its own open and close parentheses. So max minus 1. Let's do a space there just to make it look neater. Okay. So now our max is 1,001, right? When it's doing the math, but what it shows up should be our max minus 1, so it would still show up picking number between 1 and 1,000. Okay, I hope that made sense. It may not have, but that's okay. You can go back and rewatch it and just see if you can wrap your brain around it. So now we do a minimum is equal to our guess. We generate a new guess, and now we can go all the way up to 1,000 if I hit play on Unity. Let's just hit up over and over again. Oh, already close. And 1,000. We reached it. Okay. So now here's a little mini challenge for you. If they hit the up arrow, we change our minimum to guess, but what happens if they hit the down arrow? Go ahead, and if you can figure out the challenge, what we need to change, what variable we need to change, go ahead and put that in there. Okay, so this is how we do it. So if they hit the down arrow, that means our guess is the new maximum. So we set max is equal to guess. We can get rid of this right here. Take that, we can just put that in for our creating a new guess. So yeah, max is now equal to the guess, and then we produce another guess with a random range of minimum and maximum, okay, with a new max. So if it's less than 300, then we want our minimum to still be 1 and our maximum to now be 300, and then it will produce another value based on that, and then say is the number higher or lower than that. Okay. So let's just see if that's working. Let's make sure that's working in Unity. 795, hit up arrow, 965, hit the down arrow, so now our new minimum is 795. If I hit the down arrow, new maximum is 965, so now 824. hit up arrow, 831, up arrow, 912, down arrow, 873. Okay, so it looks like it's working just fine. So the last thing that we want to look at is the enter key, right? If we guess correctly, what are they going to do? Okay. So for now, before next video, for now, we're just going to do this. We're just going to give a message that says, I'm the winner. Okay, so now, if we're playing, now we have a playable game actually. The player can do up arrow, down, down, up, and it's right there. And then they hit enter, I'm the winner. And the computer wins. Okay. So, next time, we're going to fix up our code a little bit, and we're going to make sure it has a loop. So if they win, they can go back to the beginning and play it again. You always want to have a full game loop. So we'll do that next time.